I'm going to call to order the regular meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission at 6:01 p.m., December 3rd, 2020. And then, Vicki, would you do roll call for us, please?
I would be honored. Chair Intner,
Present.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Present.
Commissioner Firestone,
Here.
Commissioner Jacobson,
Present.
and Youth Commissioner Duenas.
Present.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Raquel, would you be willing to lead us again in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
Okay. James, would you, thank you, show us the flag and maybe mute everyone so we can hear one person?
Alrighty, everybody please rise. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Raquel. Appreciate that. Okay, the next on our agenda would be public comment. We did not receive any public comments this month, so we have nothing to report there. Police report, I don't believe we have anyone for the police report today.
And I talked to the chief before the meeting, and essentially the big report currently, like everything right now, is all COVID related, and just the fact that we're doing more COVID outreach, taking flyers out to people, giving flyers out, trying to remind people to follow all the procedures. Not a lot. We had looked into a couple complaints about people having gatherings on the tennis courts, and we've nipped a couple of them, and then we've heard that one or two of them moved to other courts or other times, so we'll just continue to watch that.
Okay, thank you. Public Works report. Do you have anything for that?
Yes, I spoke with Greg Grant, our Public Works Director, this morning, and just so everybody knows, so what I'm trying to do is we want to give all the reports and everything that you give, but I'm trying to with our limited staff resources right now and limited budget resources currently, I'm just trying to do it in an efficient way. So I've been meeting with the appropriate people and then putting the report back. The big report back from Public Works this month is that the Prop 68 grant funds, which are the funds that we had applied for the futsal court, those are postponed, not canceled, but they're postponed to the fall of 2021 due to the current pandemic situation. We are anticipating still receiving the City of Ojai's per capita contribution of $178,000 towards the futsal court, but it is delayed to fall of 2021. So currently, everything is kind of fluid and moving around. We're still anticipating now that construction would start in 2022, but it just depends on a lot of moving parts. So.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question regarding that.
Okay.
James, do you happen to know that if we pay for it, can that grant be used for compensation after the fact?
I don't know, but I know that we don't have $200,000 to pay for it. So. You can look into that. I'm saying that kind of, you'll notice today there's a general tone of disappointment with the news from today. So I don't mean to sound that way, but we could look into that. We could see if there would be any opportunity to do that. So we'll do that and then we'll report back.
Good question. Thank you. Okay, then City Council liaison report. Did anyone else have any questions? Sorry, about the Public Works report. Okay. Then moving forward, City Council liaison report. I do not believe we have one tonight. So on to item 7, which is consent items, and we do have minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review?
Yes.
Okay, any comments or questions? All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll start the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, sorry.
I think that motion carries, so the minutes are approved. Okay, or sorry, consent items are approved. 8 is presentations, action, and discussion items, and A is an update regarding COVID-19 impacts on recreation programs, recommendations, receive an update, and provide feedback. So I think we turn that back to the city manager.
Yeah, thank you. We had planned one update, and today I think that changed. Vicki and I had been meeting more regularly recently about the potential of starting to add some programming, and we were even starting to talk about when we could start having some indoor programming. Just starting to make the plans for those things to return. But I'll address the elephant in the room, and we can move past it. But earlier today, Governor Newsom announced what is being called the regional stay-home order that is going to really put some significant restrictions in place over the next few weeks. And in those restrictions, which, this is all kind of coming out as we speak, and we have gotten some of these restrictions just within the last couple of hours. It specifically only allows outdoor recreational facilities and limits things like indoor recreational facilities. Potentially will limit indoor and outdoor playgrounds, museums, zoos, aquariums, which we don't have many of those other than museums, and family entertainment centers. So very rapidly changing landscape from what we thought we were going to report when we wrote this agenda, but we will roll with it. I think my read of it so far has been that we had really moved to outdoor recreational programming, and Vicki will give kind of a report on the latest of that. I think that we will be okay continuing that outdoor recreational programming, and I think we will focus on just continuing that for the next month or so. For anybody who didn't read the order, once we hit a certain trigger, which is ICU capacity, once we reach a certain number, essentially these restrictions will go in place for at least 3 weeks. And we think that the region we're in is going to reach that number in the next couple of days. So I think realistically, the month of December will be highly restricted. So hopefully that's all. But in the meantime, we're getting really good feedback on the outdoor programming we're doing. I know the gymnastics program always gets good feedback, but especially right now under the circumstances. So we're going to keep trying to operate those outdoor programs as much as we can. So I know it's kind of scattered. It's we're still absorbing, and I met with the county a couple hours ago to try to understand how this affects every aspect of what we're doing. But that's kind of it in a nutshell at this point.
I know I watched part of the school board's emergency meeting today, and they already took action. So as of Monday, they're back to distance learning, and for all of December.
Wow.
They already have made a step with the new release of information. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, thank you. Any questions from anyone regarding COVID-19 updates, both rec and otherwise? Okay, hearing no questions, we will move on to item 9, which is information items.
Yeah, and
okay.
what I'd like to do, if I may, is ask Vicki to just kind of give just a quick update on some programming, the programming we're doing, and then there's a couple of topics that I just wanted to mention. But Vicki, can you kind of give us the overview of the current programming?
We're in the first week of December, so it's not quite full enrollment yet, but our built strength class is down to 4 people. It's cold. They're having a hard time with that. And our keto's at 5, which is normal. Today was the last day of the gymnastics session. They're having a hard time when the sun goes down, the mats get wet. And then Tai Chi's going to starting this weekend, so they've only got 5 enrolled for their session. And we have another little mini kick soccer class that's going on, and they have 3 classes. One was 7, one was 6, and the other one was 7. So they have 20 people enrolled in that one. And then tennis takes off the month of December also. So that's kind of all the classes we have going right now. And we added a Kung Fu out to our park rental spaces, which is really good to have them out there also. That's everything I think we have for now.
Thank you. And then quickly, I think one thing I wanted to mention under this recreation report is because I know that the Rec Commission has an ad hoc committee regarding the swimming pool, and we had received I guess I'll call it informal notice that the school district is starting to research development of a pool, and they've identified a couple spots. I think the one that we had heard that they're looking at as a potential spot. I don't think that they've decided if it was potentially somewhere around the Nordhoff parking lot. And so we don't have a whole lot of information on it yet, but I wanted to mention that. I know we have the ad hoc committee, and that that's something that may be of useful information.
Have they indicated a willingness or any interest whatsoever at working with the commission and collaborating and bringing community input through us?
So they've requested. Thank you for asking. They asked us if we'd be interested in partnering on a grant opportunity, and I told them that it depends on what's being proposed, because partnership can mean a lot of things. So I said we'd be open to it depending on what's proposed. And obviously, just for everybody, I'm sure we all know this, but for the public's benefit, any proposal like that would be if it ends up being pretty substantial, would be something that would need to be approved by the city council and would probably at some point come to the rec commission for a recommendation as well. So it's, something like that would be like fully vetted, but we were asked pretty informally, would we be interested in partnering? And, I said it would depend on what the proposal is.
Is there anything been made available in writing yet as to scope or timing or budget or any details?
Not yet. And I think the last I heard was that they may revisit the subject in January. So, I would, if we get that, I will let the commission know, but we don't have anything in writing yet. It was pretty informal.
Okay. And by revisit, is that their board looking at it, or they just have tabled it because other things are going on at the moment?
I think, well, so they had asked in November because there was a grant that was due that they were going to apply for. And I think it was, everybody was scrambling, and I think it just ended up not coming together. And so they had said, would you be willing to revisit this in January? So I think they're trying to get kind of details and a proposal together. And so, we'd obviously be willing to take a look at it.
So if anything comes your way, you'll forward that on to the committee to take a look at? Okay. Yeah. Once there's something concrete on paper with some details.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Any other questions on that?
I had a comment on that. The contacts that I had at the school district indicated that they were trying to push for construction start roughly the end of 2023, early 2024. So it's a little ways off.
Okay.
We have room to work with them.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan, did you have a comment?
No, I had a couple of questions going back to programming stuff, but if we're still on the pool, we can
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. 2 questions. One was, are there thoughts to try to add any more outdoor programming, or do you feel too constrained by like the weather and the short days?
We've been reaching out, and we have a few of our contractors our animation, our horsemanship, and our social skills are all waiting for a vaccine. And then fencing is waiting to host it indoors. And then it's like we've reached out to everyone that's ran programs here, and those are the only ones that have responded and answered to us when we've asked.
Mhm.
And so far, they haven't been willing to add anything yet. They're said to call back in January, but usually
Yeah.
December is a slow time for us anyway.
Got it.
It's
And are you
very,
getting any
very
requests
interesting
from
though.
the public?
Oh, sorry. I think I talked over you. I didn't realize it. But, it's very interesting because we're seeing right now, like everybody has their own risk tolerance. And like, to me, when we're over at the outdoor rec programs, it feels completely safe. You know, knock on wood, we haven't had any, issues or anything. And so, Vicky will could tell you this too, but I was like, why doesn't everybody want to come back? And then we start talking to them, and some people still do not feel safe, or they aren't ready to. So we had talked about a couple of programs like guitar, Mandarin, all that stuff. I'm like, that could be done pretty safely, but there's just so many different risk tolerance levels right now, is what we're seeing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I know it's my children are in Taekwondo at the park, and I know it's great for them to have the opportunity to be outside and see people, and it does feel very safe. So I was just wondering how much demand there is for other stuff from the city outside.
We've
We've had a couple recent contacts that I actually pointed towards. I had actually suggested that they submit some public comments for the rec commission. We've had some recent contacts from people who said that they were wanted to talk about different programming opportunities, and so we've talked to them, and then I told them that they can always attend a rec commission and talk there as well. So we may be hearing from some new people.
Good.
Then I had a general question, which is, can we get an update on the staffing of the rec department?
Yes.
It's Vicky. We're pretty short staffed right now in general, and it was nothing's by design right now, but we chose to remain short staffed under the circumstances because we didn't think that we were out of the woods yet, and we were hoping that maybe we were wrong, but I think today reflected we aren't. We typically have about 30 full-time employees. We were down to 22 last I checked, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for our departments that had 4 people now have 3 people. That's pretty much what it means. And so recreation only had 3 full-time employees, I believe. We have a lot of part-time people and people that have been around a long time. So I always get mixed up, but I think we had 3 full-time employees. We're down to 1, which is Vicky. We have 2 longer time part-time employees that we brought back, and we were trying to find ways to bring people back that had been with us. So we brought two of the longtime part-timers back recently, and we kind of do like they work in rec a couple of days because there's not as much there aren't as many programs as we'd like. So they work in rec a couple of days, and then we found like other places that they could work. So right now it's Vicky, and we have a couple part-timers, and we just recently had started an advertisement for an interim rec supervisor that any internal employee can apply for, and that was going to be to start kind of getting ready to relaunch. So we just started that recruitment, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. But I anticipate we had thought maybe a month or so lightly staffed, and then maybe January starting to ramp up again. I think with what happened today, it'll probably be December and January will probably stay pretty light, and then hopefully start ramping up, shortly after that.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. I wish I could say it was, a better situation, but it's definitely a challenge for us.
Thanks, James. This, I don't know. Well, it's an information item. I was wondering if you might just talk briefly about the ATP project and the fact that they're looking for volunteers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. We are launching the demonstration project, and I try not to use the ATP acronym because I feel like
All right.
nobody knows what it is. But if you may have heard a couple of the names, we tried to rebrand it recently so everybody knows what it is, but I think we waited too long. It's the Active Transportation Project, which now you'll see the Go Ojai demonstration project, and it's a lot of people refer to it as the Maricopa Highway lane reduction, which obviously gets a reaction. But the idea is we are adding buffered bike lanes onto Maricopa Highway as part of a demonstration project for 6 months. And so we'll have plenty of time to test it out and see what the reaction is. We're hoping that once it's there and people get used to it, they like it. But we'll be doing that over the next 6 months, starting December 7th, Monday. And we're looking for and taking on any volunteers that are willing to volunteer their time. Just doing things like we're going to have some people drilling some holes and doing things like moving some of the planters around, starting on Tuesday the 8th. So on Monday the 7th, we'll have the striping company come in and actually restripe the road. And then on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, there'll be volunteer opportunities to help, put the planters in and things. So
Where should people go to look for the sign up sheet? Where is it on? Is it on the
yeah,
city's?
so if you Google the Go Ojai demonstration, it's on the ohaicity.org website.
And there's signups there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
We currently have 40 volunteers, so it's, we'll have to be careful, obviously, with the gatherings and everything, but we're getting good response, and I think bike advocates and people that walk are excited about it.
Has there been any discussions regarding the length of time with the shutdowns and the fact that school is not even in session, which obviously is a huge impact to that area? Any discussions yet about extending the study into a more realistic traffic?
Yes, thank you. And, yeah, we had postponed it. I think everybody knows we had postponed it, I think 3 times to try to match when school's in session. And we decided now that postponing it doesn't make sense, but extending it does. So it came to council recently to get some of the final approvals. And in the report, one of the first approvals was approving council giving me authority to extend it as long as needed to make sure that it's in a an accurate time frame, and that we can do it when school's in session. So we've been calling it a 6-month demonstration project for a year. It's not going to be 6 months. It's going to be longer. So
okay.
Yeah. Unless it might not be. But
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the question, Susie. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Then we are done with item 9. On to item 10, commissioner reports and comments. Does anybody have a report or comment that they would like to share at this time? I have just one. I wanted to share that the Ojai Education Foundation is doing a parent survey. They're looking for parents to participate and talk about, it's as part of a grant and pursuing a grant. And they're looking for understanding how the needs of families in the Valley. It's just a short survey on their website. And so that they can identify those needs and possibly get some grant money to help serve and help with those needs. So it's the ojaied.org is their website, and there's a tab that's parent survey. So if you are a parent in the Valley, please share if you're interested. It'd be helpful. So any other comments, announcements, questions? Okay, well, that was quick. Okay, so then I guess we have future agenda items. If anybody has anything they'd like to add. Okay, not hearing anything. Well, we'll go with things that we had from before. And we should discuss, how does everybody feel about an every other month schedule unless something comes up, and then we will hold a meeting if there's any actions needed or discussions that we need to have. Where is everybody on that?
I'm indifferent. I mean, I can attend every month. There's always something to talk about, even if it's something little. Make it a short meeting, but I'm okay with it. If there's nothing pressing, then they just do every other month.
Okay.
I feel about the same. Yeah, I'm available. But yeah, if there's not enough to cover and it seems more efficient, that sounds fine. Unless we're getting feedback from the city council that
Right.
they have more pressing things that we need to address.
Okay.
I totally agree with everything they said.
Okay. Thanks, Raquel. Susie, anything? Okay. Well, so I think we'll just move forward with, we will do every other
Oh,
month.
sorry. I was talking and I think I was muted. I was like, why is she keep talking? So I would agree that I think it's, with the others, I think it's, we're at a 30-minute time slot here. I just think it's important to, even if there's not a lot of new business, it's important to keep everybody engaged. And so my input would be to, even if we have a short meeting, that we should at least try and.
Okay. All right. Thank you. James, do you want to make the general plan surveys out for anyone who's interested in taking that? Do you want to plug that at all a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, so just so everybody knows, the city of Ojai had a very outdated general plan. It's not unusual for them to be 20 to 25 years old, but ours was, most of it's 40 years old. So we are updating it, which is a massive undertaking. We did the presentation, I think, at the last meeting, but the big ask at that time was to ask everybody to get out and take this survey telling us what your, what you've identified as the needs of the city and the vision of the city. So that survey is still live. It's actually closing, I think it's next week, might be a week from today. So there's still the opportunity to take it if you haven't. I think the website is ohaicity.org/GP update, general plan update. But if you put in ohaicity.org general plan update, it should come up as well. So the survey is currently live. There's two surveys. One could take 5 minutes. The other one's maybe 10. So if the more people who want to take either of those, we'd appreciate the information, and it'll help give us, your important feedback. So.
Great. Thank you. No other comments. I think we are done for this month, and we'll be back next month. Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.